All right. Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. I want to show you what I did on Thanksgiving morning. This is my backyard, and y'all, a number of years ago, my father-in-law started frying turkeys, and we have eaten nothing but fried turkey every Thanksgiving. I know for at least 20 years, at least. All right. And we kind of got into it a little bit. And what you see here down the fence line are 5 different fryers. And then you see the double burner kind of back behind it with the 2 big silver pans. And so we had 7 burners going all at the same time. And we fried 14 turkeys. And we did this new thing that we've done just in the last couple of years. If any of you like crab boils, you know, where you get that Cajun seasoning, that crab boil seasoning, and you put it in a big pot and you put a bunch of crab legs in there, and you know, and then you eat it spicy and all that kind of stuff. Well, I know it may not sound very good to you, but we do that. We get that mixture boiling and going in those big pots, and then we put a turkey in them. And that seasoning infuses that turkey meat, and it's spicy. And if you like spicy Cajun kind of food, you're going to have that someday. I don't know where you're going to get it because not many people do it. But we did 3 of those and 14 fried turkeys. My dad's in the picture. My youngest son's in the picture. And that's what we did. We hung out Thanksgiving morning doing that. And we had 5 or 6 of our neighbors come and get turkeys that we did for them. Other friends and people we enjoy hanging out with came by. We did turkeys for them, and so we had a great time. That's the way we spent Thanksgiving morning, and had a wonderful time. So I just thought I'd give you a little bit of insight into what Thanksgiving around our house looks like, and I hope you had a great time. We didn't have as many people. We normally have 20, 22 people, something like that, show up for Thanksgiving, but just a very small group this year. Nonetheless, we had a great time, and it was a beautiful day, and we enjoyed wonderful food. More importantly, we enjoyed wonderful fellowship, and I hope each of you had a similar type experience this Thanksgiving, even in the midst of it probably being a little bit different than normal. So I just wanted to share a little bit of that with from our family and what we do. Now, Thanksgiving obviously gives us a time where it's just kind of automatic. We start to think about things for which we're grateful, things for which we're thankful. And Kiplinger, they put this article out, 10 things to be thankful for in 2020. And then look at this subtitle. The pandemic may have kept us inside and apart, but that doesn't mean there isn't any good to be found in 2020. And so this title and subtitle did what they're supposed to do for me anyway. They grabbed my attention, and I had to know what those 10 things are, and I thought I would share them with you. All right, so number 1, a COVID vaccine is coming soon. We've seen that, Moderna, Pfizer, supposedly Johnson & Johnson is right on the horizon of it. There's antibody therapy coming. I think if I read correctly, England has already approved the Pfizer drug. Now, don't quote me on that, but I saw a little blurb on it. And so we know that the vaccine is coming, and it's coming soon, maybe even as early as this month for certain people, right? So that's something for which to be thankful. A new bull market. You guys know that we were in an 11-year run of bull markets, and then February hits, right? And the bull market drops 34%. But by Monday of Thanksgiving week, according to this article, by Monday of Thanksgiving week, the market was 61% below the low that it hit during COVID. And it's 12% higher than 2019. So I think we agree that's a good thing. We're grateful for that. How about 6G technology? It's on the way. scheduled somewhere around 2030 to be fully implemented. But oh my goodness, I don't think we can even imagine all the things that are going to be available to us once 6G arrives. We've got a new helper in the fight for lower prescription drugs. How many of you, and all of you, y'all are pretty young, but you may have some parents or grandparents that they firsthand experience of how expensive prescription drugs are, where there's a thing called biosimilar, and it's taking complex drugs that require a lot of synthetic development, and it's using natural causes to create those same drugs, and it's supposed to dramatically lower prescription drug costs. There's more personal savings and less debt. David, you said a little bit earlier, you've lost weight maybe because you haven't gone out to eat as much. Well, get this. Right now, personal savings in 2020, get this figure, they are $6.5 trillion more right now than it was in 2019. Personal savings, $6.5 trillion more. And there's 7.5% less debt among individuals, families all across the country. Virtually unhackable networks are coming. It's called the quantum internet. You guys know probably a whole ton more about than I do. It has to do with quantum physics and some kind of thing where information can be at multiple places all at one time, and it makes it virtually unhackable. I guess that's what the article said. Okay, I don't understand all that. And then there's a new law to help retirement savers called the Secure Act. It was passed earlier this year by Congress, and it benefits people who are saving for retirement. So what a great thing that is. Identity theft. Y'all get this. This was amazing to me. The people who have experienced identity theft in 2020 is down 60% compared to 2019. If you've ever been the victim of identity theft, you know personally how great that news is right there. Cheaper gene sequencing. Now talk about stuff I don't understand. That right there, I had to look some of this up, but here's the concept of this. Gene sequencing is about identifying four complex or chemical bodies that make up the DNA molecule, make up our DNA structure, and the sequencing of them determines things like who we are and which of these cells are genes and which of them are regulatory. They give instructions to the genes. And here's what happens when they can sequence them. Amazing things happen. But here's the thing. In 2001, to do one genome, to sequence one genome, I won't even ask you to guess, $100 million. Yes, I said that correctly, $100 million. But right now, they can sequence one genome from 2001 to right now for only $1,000. Kid you not, $1,000. And they're on their way to it costing $100 to sequence one genome, when in 2001, it took 100 million. I kid you not. And here's the thing about it. One of the practical ways that's benefited us is the rapid development of the COVID-19 vaccine. Is this the inexpensive way they can sequence genes has contributed significantly to the rapid speed with which they've been able to develop this vaccine. And then amending tax returns. Many of you probably file e-file. Well, you know what? Up until just recently, if you had to turn in an amended tax return, you couldn't do it by e-file. You had to mail it in. Well, now it can be e-filed. So Kiplinger thinks that these are 10 things for which to be grateful and thankful. And you know what? I think I agree with them on pretty much all of them. Pretty good list, right? So what about you? And I said it a minute ago, but I really do. I really am grateful, right? That you would take a minute and email me the things for which you're especially grateful this year. So what did you say? I thought you would be interested, and this will take a few slides because a whole bunch of you responded, but I think you'll be interested to see it, and maybe I can draw some conclusions here as we make our way through it. But here, and these are in no particular. Well, I say no particular order. Yeah, really no particular order. Just I was going through the emails and cut and pasted them in here. So here's one. Grateful for Multiview. Always been grateful for the company I work for. But in these times especially, I'm appreciative that we've managed to navigate the epidemic, keep people employed, continue to provide great service to our clients and partners. It's a real testament to exceptional people who lead our company, and I'm eternally grateful. We'll talk more about this later, but you know what? The person that wrote this, I wonder, have you expressed that up the chain, or have you just told me about it? You know, that's powerful right there, y'all. That's big. All right, look at this. Grateful for family and friends. My son, he's the light of my life. God, family, friends, my job. I'm especially thankful for my bosses, coworkers, team members, in-laws, my wife. I'm most thankful for my family. The grace of God showing saved my daughter from what could have been a fatal car crash. Oh my goodness, y'all. You talk about getting a slap upside the head, right? About people that we take for granted. Y'all, why is it that on way too frequent of a basis, we can be kinder to total strangers than we are to our own family members? We can pay more attention to strangers than we do our own family members. Y'all, we got to be aware, right? Every day matters. Every day's a gift. And so let's don't make ourselves almost lose something before we really understand the value and express it. What about this one? Faith. It can pull you out of the moment. Pandemic obstacle, whatever impedes your progress and propel you on your path. I'm thankful for family, both blood and those we choose to associate with. I love that, right? Friends, close association. Yes, we want it to be like family, don't we? We're laugh, happy, and love. Family, and we're healthy. Grateful, close friends and family. I love this one. The simple. Hot showers and a full fridge. Y'all, let's just pause on that one a minute. Can we? Let's just pause right there. How many times do we take those two things right there for granted? Way too many. Hot showers and a full fridge. Oh my goodness. Freedom, faith, thankful for the ability to serve my God freely. Health, not only healthy from sickness, but thankful for a healthy wife and kids. Thankful for the ability to work, right? And provide for my family. Yes, work's not always fun. We all know that. But we're thankful for it, right? Let's don't take it for granted. God and family. My family, health, career, friends, pets, the health of my family. None of my family's gotten sick. So grateful for my job and how accommodating and understanding they've been with my family situation and the fact that I still have a job that I love. Wow. Have we told our bosses that? Have we influenced the people that report to us to have that same kind of attitude? Wow. My family, health, career, Multiview. It's been a different year than most, but I'm thankful to have my family healthy and nimble enough to adjust to the changes that it's brought us. That's the idea. Y'all remember we talked early on about those zones, the fear zone, the learning zone, and the growth zone, and that as leaders, we got to get through those zones. We all are going to experience fear, right? We're all going to experience it. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's looking fear in the face and telling it to get the heck out of the way. We're always going to face fear, especially uncertainty. But as leaders, we got to embrace it and figure out, okay, what do we learn in this? And now how are we going to grow and be stronger and help our people to be stronger and help our families to be stronger? And that's what this is saying to me. Look, we were nimble enough to adjust. We went through the fear zone, learning zone. We got into the growth zone. And you know what? I'm thankful. It's been a different year, but I'm thankful. My wife, health, team, working for a great company. There we go again. I'm thankful for technology. Yes? Hey, everybody ought to be clapping, right? Because, I mean, if you enjoy this, because without technology, we wouldn't be doing this. You know, I'm grateful for it too. I don't understand it all. I get frustrated with it, right? But it keeps people connected, entertained, informed, inspired. And in many cases, yes, employed. We all understand that way better than we ever did before COVID, right? The things I'm most grateful for: family, being outdoors, good weather, and freedom. Oh my goodness. One of the first times I ever wrote anything about gratitude was the Thanksgiving after 9/11. Why is it that it isn't until someone or something tries to take something away from us that we really value it? Same concept we talked about earlier. Those of us that were born and have lived in America all of our life, we don't comprehend freedom like those who have experienced oppression. We just don't. But it doesn't mean we have to take it for granted. Thank you, whoever wrote that. Thank you for writing that, reminding us. Things I'm most grateful for: my family and friends. Grateful for Multiview for giving me the opportunity to provide a wonderful lifestyle. Amen, right? Yeah, we're seeing that. Most thankful for family, good health. My son, who's able to walk unassisted for the first time in 18 months. Oh my goodness. Wow. What a journey that's been for the parents and the son. But I tell you what, that son right there, doing that right there is going to change his life. He will be more persistent. He will persevere. This will turn into a benefit for him. Wow. My health, as well as the health of my family. My husband, he's my rock. I'm grateful we've been able to spend more time together. Health has been a crazy year with COVID, but family and I've been able to stay safe and healthy. Fitness. I've been able to do a lot of fitness. You know, there's a lot of people struggling with anxiety, depression, about not being able to leave home. But we've been able to work out, and I'm grateful for that. Decompresses on a stressful day. I get that. I think we all do. Look here, Multiview, just to know that we have a company that's doing everything possible to keep us safe, but also gives us opportunity to thrive during unprecedented times like we're going through, is a blessing. Again, are we communicating this to anybody else? Because this is good stuff. My son's school, my family and friends, life's blessing, and everything God's provided to me and my husband. We're fortunate. I don't want to take that for granted. Thank you for saying that. It's exactly right. Good health of my family, loved ones during this trying time. My own health. My grandmother passed away very suddenly. So I'm very thankful for my family's resilience and effort to prioritize time and communicate with one another. Wow. Yeah. In the midst of sadness, there's gratitude, right? My career at Multiview, the mentors I look up to, the team, the friends, and the fact that I have an opportunity to still be employed. Wow. Yes. Yes. Again, are we taking that for granted? Blessed to have such a loving, healthy family, support my team. Job puts me in a place to provide for my family. Thankful for extra time. My grandparents used to tell me it doesn't cost anything to smile. Those are wise grandparents, right? Doesn't cost you anything to smile. And this person says, what it's taught me as we hide our smiles behind our masks. And some of us retreat into our own self-doubts and insecurities, that we have to go above and beyond the normal acts of gratitude, of happiness, like smiling at a stranger. So y'all look for ways to share gratitude, right? Faith, God's grace, my wife, my parents, living in the state of Texas. I like that one. Family and the ability to spend time with immediate family, stability, friends, the family we choose, right? There it is again, friends and family, and group chats, right? Health, family, job security, baby girl, there we go, full-time job during a global pandemic, loving, supporting family. You get the picture here, my job at Multiview. So look, y'all, thank you again for sharing that. Those are wonderful. At the same time, who have you shared them with? Who have you shared them with? Have you asked your team to answer that same question? Could you have some time with your team to talk about that? What would it do for your team? We're going to talk about that, but listen, let me encourage you. They're priceless, and we got to share them. So, y'all, why are we talking about this? I think you know, but why are we talking about gratitude? I've been thinking about that, and I think I boiled it down to this. And don't hold it to me because I may change it at some point. But why are we talking about gratitude? Simply put, because gratitude impacts lives. And you know what, you guys? You and me, we're in the impacting lives business. We're in the tree growing business. You remember from last week? 2 weeks ago? We're in the impacting lives business. That's called influence. And influence is leadership. And you remember me talking about why we studied those leadership qualities? Because as we develop those leadership qualities, not only do our lives improve, but the lives of everybody who depend upon us improve as well. It's the same with gratitude. Gratitude impacts lives. So that's why we're talking about it. So let me tell you what I've done. I've done a little bit of research. I found four things I'm going to share with you, right? Research I've done about gratitude. All right. So the first one, this is called the Playing Gratitude Project. Yes. And there's the link to it down there at the bottom, playingwithgratitude.com. If you want to go read about it, I would encourage you to do that. Playingwithgratitude.com. It's the Playing Gratitude Project. It started in 2016. This gentleman that started it read some studies by Australian psychologists, and look at this, I bolded it. The biggest threat to our children's lives by the time they reach high school will be their mental wellness. Their mental wellness is the biggest threat to high school kids, according to these psychologists. And you know what? I don't know that I would say it's the biggest in my mind, but it's certainly incredibly important. Right now, who am I to argue with these psychologists? But anyway, the point being, it may or may not be the biggest, but it's certainly a big one. The mental wellness. My wife, I've told you, my wife, Pam, she teaches voice lessons, right? And her students are primarily, well, really all of them are high school students. And she's been teaching them over Zoom since March, all right? We've started having them come to our back porch, but recently she quit doing that and she just does it on Zoom. But here's what she would tell you. This has taken a toll on their mental wellness. Big time. With her kids. Social media takes a huge toll on mental wellness. Really probably for everybody, but especially teenagers. Telephones. Access to content that can be unhealthy, yet the access is so easy and prevalent. Mental wellness, one of the biggest challenges to high school kids, one of the biggest threats to them is what this said. This gentleman said, my research showed me that gratitude changes how we feel about ourselves and our world. If we practice gratitude each day, y'all get that. We're going to come back to that. But get that phrase, practice gratitude each day. If we practice gratitude each day, you know what happens? We feel better about ourselves. We feel better about the environment. You know what? We actually sleep better. We experience a deeper sense of joy and pleasure and feel more connected to friends and family. It can even improve our immune system and physical energy levels. Guess what? If that's all going on because of gratitude, what's happening to our mental well-being? It's dramatically improving. What they've done, they've had at least 3,000, maybe 4,000 kids go through this project. And they've learned a lot of things about it. They've learned that gratitude and play are two critical factors of mental well-being. Gratitude and play. The Playing Gratitude Project. And you can go and read about the impact it's had on children. You can go read about the impact it's had on families. But I want to show you the impact it's had in the workplace, because they also measured that. So let me show you the main points of the impact that gratitude has in the workplace. It instills confidence. Think about it. When's the last time your boss came to you and said, hey, thank you. I'm really grateful for the job that you guys are doing. Your team is doing great. Thank you for your leadership. What does that do for your confidence? It like shoots it through the roof, right? So guess what? It does the same thing for the people in your team. It does the same thing for your kids. It does the same thing for your spouse, your significant other. Absolutely. It does the same thing for your friends. It does the same thing for every relationship that you have. It instills gratitude, instills confidence. It increases a sense of value, and look at that, innovative thinking. Better never stops. Innovative thinking, right? Gratitude actually increases the sense of value that people have for themselves. And when they have a perceived increase of value and an increased level of confidence, guess what? They're free to think more creatively. Ideas come to them. It improves collective communication. We communicate better when we feel appreciated. It inspires a sense of freedom to flourish because we feel listened to and heard. Y'all, we've talked about that, right? Every human being has this deep sense and need to be heard. Well, we've got to listen to them. When we listen to people, it's an expression of gratitude for what they have to say to us, because we may learn something that we don't know. We may be informed of something that we're not aware of. It inspires a sense of freedom to flourish because people feel heard. It initiated, look at this, gratitude in the home. These people in the workplace, they experienced gratitude in the workplace. You know what it did? It penetrated into their homes. And there was an increased sense of gratitude with their family, the people we're supposed to love the most, right? So gratitude has a big impact in the workplace on each of us individual. Another way to say it, gratitude has ROI. And I'm going to show you some studies on the ROI of gratitude in the workplace. This comes from McGraw-Hill. You can see the link down the bottom left. Gratitude, Dr. Robert Emmons, he's quoted in a lot of articles about gratitude and the study of it. He's a professor, psychologist at University of California, Davis. And look at what he says. Gratitude is the ultimate touch point of human existence and the ultimate performance-enhancing substance. So if we have an underperforming person on our team, what would this tell us? What would this tell us? Look at it. Y'all, we have to look for ways to express gratitude, because when people feel appreciated, they will work harder. Most of them, not now, okay, there's always exceptions, right? There's always exceptions, right? But this is in general. In general, gratitude, ultimate performance enhancing substance. Here's the thing. He says that when we give gratitude, it creates a connection. It creates this solidarity and interdependence between the giver and the receiver. They become bound together. For instance, when your team hits a big goal and your boss comes to you and expresses this gratitude because it helped him hit his goal or helped her hit her goal, right? There's this connection there because they were running after something. You played a big role in helping them get it. It helped you get your goal. They come and express this gratitude, and there's this interdependence there between the giver of the gratitude and the receiver of the gratitude, and there's this connection, and it's an amazing lift both to the receiver but also the person that's giving it. As he says, it's a profound message given to another human being. Once we share that for which we're grateful, once we express appreciation for another person to them directly, it creates an interdependence, a bond. It's the type of relationship we want. It is what helps. Y'all remember me talking with you about healthy relationships? That their healthy relationships are made up of three things: choice, communication, and commitment. We have to choose the relationship. We have to have healthy communication, and it deepens commitment. Well, that's what this is saying. It's just different words. When we communicate gratitude, it deepens the commitment to where we choose each other again, and we communicate even more, and it deepens commitment even more, and we develop this healthy relationship, these healthy teams that create breakthrough results. Gratitude, it has definite return on investment. Okay, here's another one. Hey, ladies, do y'all know this company, Betabrand? Anybody unmute? Anybody know the company Betabrand? Anybody? Are y'all still there?
I don't know it.
Okay, thank you for speaking up. Well, Betabrand, they make dress yoga pants. Go to betabrand.com. They make dress yoga pants, maybe a couple of other things, right? Like executive sweatshirts, I think it said. But that's what they do. Now, here's the thing. One of the things that they've done is they have this thing called props, okay? And here's what they do. Every week, and they're a company in San Francisco. Their corporate headquarters, San Francisco. Every week, they get their people together, and it's probably not a very, very big group of people. But anyway, here's what they do. They get their people together. They have this weekly meeting. What the different things that they need to talk about, that you would normally talk about with business. And then the director says, does anyone have props this week? And you know what they do? One employee will say, Susie did this week, and I'm really grateful for that. Johnny did that this week, and I just want to express my gratitude for them. They actually have time at the end of their meeting. It's what it says here. The props ritual is Betabrand's way of expressing gratitude to its employees, and it's a regular terminus, the ending to their weekly congregation, their weekly meeting, right? And so they intentionally generate communication or gratitude communication. They intentionally generate and communicate gratitude to other people in front of other people. What they learned is that practicing gratitude increases happiness levels by around 25%. But here's the kicker, y'all. Only 10% of adults ever say thank you to a colleague. only 10% of us say thank you to a colleague. Now, y'all, that's probably not the way it is at Multiview. Probably not. You've got a great team. But whatever that percentage is, it's not high enough. I know that. Look what expressing gratitude does. It increases happiness levels by 25%. And it's not just the recipient that benefits. Here we go again. It's not just the recipient that benefits from the gratitude. People who express thanks and appreciation regularly, look at this, y'all. They enjoy less stress. They get more restful sleep. They might even find improvements in their physical health. Who does not want less stress? Who does not want to be able to sleep better? Who does not want improved health? Well, one way we do it is we express gratitude. And we do it on purpose, intentionally. We practice gratitude. Again, we're going to get to that in a minute. All right. So here's another thing this article said. Hey, managers, you guys, you have a reason to celebrate too. Look at this. There's research at the Wharton School at the University of Pennsylvania, and they randomly divided these university fundraisers. They took this group of fundraisers and they just let them go do their fundraising work like they always do. They took this second group of fundraisers, and before they got on the phone to start calling, the director came in and expressed how grateful she was for their efforts. And you know what they did? They made 50% more calls than this other group. 50% more. Because the only thing different, the director came in and expressed gratitude for what they were about to do. Gratitude, return. It's like trust, y'all. Remember we talked about that? There's ROI on trust. Everything travels at the speed of trust. You know, when we show gratitude, people trust you faster and they feel trusted. Everything travels at the speed of trust. Gratitude is closely connected. Gratitude is so closely correlated with happiness, optimism, and lifestyle that now we explore it as a tool to improve our work lives. This is Dr. Glenn Fox from the Marshall School of Business at USC. Gratitude is now actually a tool to improve our work lives. ROI is good. I mean, gratitude is good for the bottom line. Here's the thing. For business leaders, the bottom line is deceptively simple. Look at this, y'all. Showing and demonstrating that you care for other people, like your employees, look what it does. It inspires them to take care of you too. When a company's people cooperate and like each other, the company does better. It's that simple, and the research backs it up. Dr. Glenn Fox. It's deceptively simple, y'all. Just demonstrate we care for other people. How do we do that? We express gratitude as a primary and critically important way that we show we care for other people. And it's not just for leaders. Look at this, y'all. For workers, when your team members and you yourself, when you're working, practicing gratitude pays off as well. Even if you have a difficult job, practicing and looking for ways to experience gratitude can allow you to see more clearly about the people around you who are good and what's working. In other words, when you have an attitude of gratitude, you're more secure, which means you're not as defensive, which means you're more apt to look at other people that are enjoying success and ask them, hey, what are you doing? And you're willing to learn from them. When you have an attitude of gratitude, there's less selfishness and there's more about, hey, how can I learn? We could express gratitude for that individual and compliment them and learn what they're doing. We actually become more productive as individual producers when we have an attitude of gratitude. Now, listen, if we were all together, we would have a discussion about this. How does gratitude increase your close ratio? I tell you what, I think that's an important enough question. Unmute. Anybody got an idea? How does gratitude increase your close ratio? Anybody?
Yeah, it would impact it because people enjoy interacting with folks who are grateful, and they would much rather be a client of someone that knows that you appreciate their business, that means something to you.
Exactly. Thank you. Somebody else?
In order for you to show gratitude, you actually have to know more than just surface level information about whoever you're interacting with. So that means that you have actively listened and shown that you have actively listened in order to be able to show true gratitude, which in our line of work, obviously carries a lot of weight.
Yeah.
To be succinct.
Thank you. Thank you, Tep, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. All right. So here's the thing. You're exactly right. In order to show gratitude, and y'all listen, I've just made the assumption that it's sincere gratitude. You can't fake it. It can't be manipulative gratitude, right? It's got to be sincere, authentic gratitude. To offer that, you have to have an appreciation for someone. And so to appreciate this prospect or this client, you got to know more about them. You got to listen to what they're telling you. You got to understand their business a little bit more, and you got to be on the give, not on the take. It's hard to be focused on ourselves and are we going to make money? Are we going to make sales? And what do I got to do to get this sale? If that's our focus, there's little room for gratitude. But when we have gratitude, it forces us to pay attention to the other people, appreciate them, understand them, listen to them. And what that does is it connects you with them and they trust you faster and you close sales and you close them for higher dollar figures. Gratitude is good for the bottom line, but it's got to be practiced, y'all. Gratitude is authentic, but it's also a skill set. We need to practice it and be intentional with it. So learning how to practice gratitude for your team and your employees, it's an incredibly inexpensive management tool. And it has incredible payoff. It's not expensive to practice gratitude and to learn it and to express it and to be intentional. It has incredible ROI because it's not very expensive to learn it, right? All right, so here's another article, 40 simple ways to practice gratitude. Now, we're not going to go through all 40, but if you want to look them up, there's a link down there, 40 simple ways to practice gratitude. Here are the top five, okay? You ready? Keep a gratitude journal and add to it every day. Keep a gratitude journal and add to it every day. Every day, be intentional about reading and adding something to a gratitude journal. It's intentional. And just the process of reading and adding something, it refreshes our attitude. It instills gratitude because we're reminded to get our eyes off of the trivial and hone in on what's really important. Like what some of y'all said, hot shower and a full fridge, a daughter that wasn't injured worse than she was, a little baby, a son that walked for the first time in 18 months. Gratitude. Read it, add to it. We practice it. Tell someone you love them and how much you appreciate them. When do you tell people that you love them? When? When do you tell your kids you love them? Before other people who don't have their best interests in heart tell them they love them. When do you tell your significant other you love them? Before somebody else does. When do we tell people we love them and appreciate them and are grateful for them? every day. Every day we tell them. Every time we hang up the phone. Every day we tell them. I tell my 2 sons every day. Well, I don't talk to them every day now, but I tell them every time I talk to them, I love them. I don't want there to ever be a shadow of doubt, not one hair of doubt that their daddy doesn't love them, doesn't respect them, isn't proud of them. They don't always do the right thing. They make mistakes just like all of us. But that doesn't matter. And so there's never going to be a doubt. There's never going to be a doubt in Pam Wade's mind that I love her. Not 1 second. We tell them. We take time to look at the beauty in nature. My goodness, right? Pam and I we were riding our tandem bike a couple of weeks ago, and we're riding through this park, and these 2 bobcats come right out on the trail. It was incredible. Nature, beauty. Take a moment, acknowledge it, be grateful for it. Friendships. You all know that friendships are expensive, right? They're expensive. Primarily time-wise. Emotionally, they're expensive, but they're worth it. So let's be careful, right? Let's be careful. Smile more often. Smile more often. Even when you're on the phone. Do y'all know that people can feel and hear your smile on the phone? They can. Smile more often. These are just the top 5, y'all. But it's about relationships. It's about building healthy relationships. And a key component of it is I told you, choice, communication, commitment, but under communication is communicating gratitude. Now, I picked out some that I like out of the 40. Okay, those were the top 5. Compliment your friends and family. Compliment them. Look for ways to compliment them. Your team members. Proactively look for ways to compliment people. When people are complimented, they will make an effort to do it again so that they can get complimented again. Look for ways to compliment people. Write a card to people. Handwritten cards are unfortunately a thing of the past. But I hope you have stationery. I don't do it as frequently as I should, but I've got stationery right here where I write notes to people. Again, not as often as I should, because handwritten notes make a difference to people. It impacts lives. Write a card to somebody. Here's that, add to your gratitude list daily. Make gratitude a part of family life. If your family gets together, like to eat a meal, well, take a minute and just say, hey, let's go around the table. What are you grateful? What happened today for which you're grateful? Just take a minute. Start building a culture of gratitude with your family and your kids. Thank the people who serve you in the community. When's the last time you thanked your waitress? Or you thanked a police officer or a fireman, or the person that washes your car, mows your yard? Thank people. Say thank you for little things that loved ones do for you, right? That we normally take for granted. Attitude of gratitude. We have to practice it. Here's how you know that you're starting to develop this attitude of gratitude. There are 4 characteristics for grateful people. Here they are. A sense of abundance. Do you have this sense of abundance? You're blessed more than you deserve. You have more than you ever dreamt possible? Or is there always this quest for more? It's hard to have an attitude of gratitude if there's always a quest for more material items. Bigger bank account, nicer car, bigger home. Nothing wrong with any of that stuff, unless it's all consuming. It's hard to be grateful when we're not appreciative for what we have. Appreciate the contributions of others, right? Recognize and enjoy life's small pleasures. That's what, again, I'm going to say it again. The warm, hot showers and full fridge, small pleasures that all of us take for granted. Acknowledge the importance of experiencing and expressing gratitude. Just acknowledge that that's important. So as you start to develop these characteristics, you know you're on the right track to having an attitude of gratitude. So why are we talking about gratitude? Because it impacts lives, y'all. Because it impacts lives. And I'm going to show you this again. Why is that important? Because we're in the tree growing business. We're going to plant these little trees, y'all. We talked about this 2 weeks ago. I'm going to show it to you again. We're going to plant these little trees. They're new people on your team. They're children in your home. They're brand new friends to you. We're going to plant these little trees, and we're going to start to water them and fertilize them. And gratitude has got to be a big part of the water and the fertilizer and the food that we give these little trees. Gratitude, we cannot leave out gratitude in the ingredients when we water and fertilize these little trees that we're growing. We got to prune them every once in a while, and we got to have the courage to do it, and we got to do it the correct way. We talked about that because ultimately we're impacting lives, and we want to see fruit out of these lives that we're impacting. We're in the tree growing business, you guys. And we will not do it as effectively as we can without gratitude for ourselves and for the people that we're impacting. We're in the tree growing business. Gratitude has got to be a part of it. It's got to be part of your values, I would recommend. Now, you guys, y'all, everybody needs and deserves the right to identify their own values. Nobody can tell you what your values are. It's like you can't make people be responsible, right? You just can't do it. So I can't tell you what your values are. I can strongly suggest that gratitude needs to be one of them. Because when we value gratitude and we continue to remind ourselves that gratitude is a core value, then we're going to be more thankful. We're going to be more humble. We're going to be less selfish. We're going to be more kind. We're going to be more service-oriented. We're going to be more like servant leaders. We're going to be more respectful. We're going to love better. We're going to communicate better. We're going to enjoy life better. We're going to sleep better. We're going to feel better. And you know what? So will everybody else around us. Because gratitude becomes this core value, and core values impact lives. All right, I'm going to wrap up with this. My favorite quote on gratitude. Here's what gratitude does, everybody. I've shown you this before, but here's what it does. It unlocks the fullness of life. When we're not grateful for what we have, and we're all constantly after more, then there's emptiness. And our lives we don't feel fulfilled. But when we're grateful, it changes the entire perspective. And it unlocks the realization and the fullness of life. Gratitude unlocks the fullness of life. It turns what we have into enough and more. We begin to value what we have instead of wishing for everything that we don't have. Let's be grateful for what we have because it turns it into enough and even more. It turns denial into acceptance, chaos to order, confusion to clarity. When we enter into uncertainty and there's fear and there's denial and there's chaos and there's confusion As we can look at it with gratitude, we start to learn, and we're starting to realize that, you know what? I wouldn't learn these things if I hadn't gone through this. And if I hadn't learned these things, I never would have grown into this. Gratitude unlocks it. Turns what we have into enough. Denial takes up, cast out our confusion, clarity. It turns a meal into a feast, a house into a home, and a stranger into a friend. Gratitude, y'all. It makes sense of our past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow. Y'all, everything travels at the speed of trust. Gratitude. We won't have the kind of relationships we want. We won't have the kind of life we want. We won't have the kind of influence we want. I could keep going on. We won't have the kind of friends we want. We won't have the kind of family we want. We won't have the kind of marriage we want. We won't have the kind of relationships that we want until we learn to practice and intentionally implement authentic gratitude. So I hope this is helpful for you, because it's a game changer. It impacts lives, and that's what we're about.